Our next session is online session with Johannes Fisslinger from Germany. This session is about advancing mental health with lifestyle prescriptions. Johannes Fisslinger founded Mental Health University. So we are having this session on Skype. He is co-founder of Mental Health and the International Meta-Medicine Association and founder of Mental Health University, the world's only lifestyle prescription training school teaching advanced mental health applications. He will be talking about how to radically improve your body, mind, social diagnostic, therapy and coaching skills, empower client and your community with your low investment, low maintenance, and high satisfaction, and prosperous lifestyle prescriptions, micro practice. We have him online already? Yes. Okay, so we have Johannes Fisslinger online. Please welcome him. Sean, please check.
Yeah, you can hear me? Oh, here we go. We're good, right? We're good to go? Yes, here we go. So again, thank you. Welcome, everyone. My name is Johannes, and I'm super excited to be here today. I couldn't be there in person, but hey, you know, online is almost as good. So, well, again, thanks for everybody for organizing the conference. And, you know, it's been a big journey, a long journey with mental health over the last 12, 13 years. And Anton, are you in there in the audience? I think you are, right? So together with Dr. Bader, we created mental health, 12, 13 years ago. And I want to say this here, Anton, to you, to Dr. Bader. Thank you so much for being such a great friend and to take the journey with me and everybody else, you know, over the last 12 or so years. It's been really exciting. And I think we're just at the starting point of where what we call mental health is going to flow into traditional medicine. And this is a big part I've been like, you know, working on and being really passionate about. Because we know healthcare is broken. We all agree something new has to come, but what? And you know, over the last year or two, I've focused very much on lifestyle prescriptions. And I hope I can share with you what that is and what the potentials are and how you can actually use it, right? So I think I have just a half an hour, which is not very long. So I try to pack a lot of things in it. So let me start the PowerPoint. And so you see, and then at the end, by the way, you can ask questions. And while I talk, maybe get a piece of paper ready, because in a minute we need that, and a pen. Does everybody have that? If not, if you could get it, that would be really good. Okay? Okay, perfect. Perfect. So, think about for a second. When you go, right? Or 90%, 95% of people around the planet, they have a health issue, they go to the doctor. What do they get? A prescription in most cases, right? Diagnostics or prescription. So this has been established so much over the last, especially the last, well, hundreds of years really, but the last 30, 40, 50 years very much on medications, RX prescriptions, right? Some say very successful, others say not as much. But the point is this: what if patients, clients would go to a doctor? Forward a little bit into the future, right? They go to a doctor, they have a coronary heart disease, so high blood pressure, right? What is happening right now? Well, they get statins, for example, to lower the high blood pressure. We're calling that disease management, right? What if in the near future, doctors provide options? They say, well, we can offer you the disease management prescription route that lowers your heart high blood pressure, for example, or we have lifestyle prescriptions as an option where you make the specific lifestyle changes that we know trigger or kind of cause that high blood pressure. You make these lifestyle changes, maybe it doesn't react or it doesn't change as fast, but on the long run, you're going to feel so much healthier, you feel more energetic, your body is healthier, you feel emotionally, mentally stronger, and you live longer. So just imagine that the possibilities that we would have, that people would have. And my gut feeling is some people would still go for the disease management option, but many, many, many would go for the lifestyle modification, lifestyle prescription route. And so that is really the vision here, that we need to find a way, innovatively and progressively, to allow doctors and therapists to bring lifestyle medicine into their practices. And that's why I said at the beginning here, it's really about lifestyle medicine is the future, where we not just look at disease management, but we look into creating a different environment, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, social environment that allows us to be healthier, where we're not triggered as much into these health disease processes. And a lot of this, the meta health aspect, I'm sure you've covered quite a bit already over the last 1 or 2 days. So we have disease management, right? And in the near future, and we've seen this already over the last couple of years, that many doctors start to integrate lifestyle prescriptions. And I'm going to tell a few stories in a minute. So it's all about providing options. And it's an easy way. So if you just imagine, if you have a minute or a couple of minutes time with a client, that is usually that doctors have. They have 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. And writing a lifestyle prescription is based on giving them specific advice to change their lifestyle is very, very possible for every doctor, every healthcare professional around the world. Now, let me explain the difference, because I think it's very important to know the difference between a green prescription and lifestyle prescription. A green prescription is something that many of you probably do already in some form or another, which means you give your clients or your patients guidance in terms of how they can change their exercise more, their nutrition, maybe stress management, or you use medications to basically writing green, healthy prescriptions. Now, I want to tell a story, and Anton Dr. Bada, was telling me like a while ago when we started talking about lifestyle prescriptions, and he was saying, I use green prescriptions already. For example, if a husband comes in and he's totally overloaded, overwhelmed, then I write him a green prescription that he doesn't have to do any housework, right? No chores for 2 weeks. He's happy, wife not so much, but that's okay, because it helps him to relax and to regenerate. Now that's kind of funny, but it really is what this is all about, that we cannot separate ourselves from our environment, from our emotions and our thoughts. So green prescriptions are more generic. And I encourage you to start writing them right now. And you can do this right now. A lot of you have tremendous expertise, and writing these green prescriptions is something that everyone can do in a more formal way. Now, the big difference to lifestyle prescriptions, and obviously that's a trademarked, very trademarked term that we use, because we want to build very specific network of lifestyle prescriptions providers or health coaches that use very specific protocols. And so be very tight on that if somebody is using lifestyle prescriptions, he needs to follow very specific rules, how to do the analysis part and how to coach a client. But I might go into a little bit later into that. Okay, so take your piece of paper out, please. And what I'd like you to do is write your lifestyle prescription or a green prescription for yourself right now. And a couple things that you can integrate for yourself right now or when you work with clients. There's 2 ways how we can help our clients to change habits, because it's really about habits, right? We usually, even in mental health or in traditional or in complementary medicine, we try to always use methods and techniques and this and that and go for the quick fix, and that often works tremendously, right? Absolutely perfect. But in many cases, we know it requires a habit change. If I'm eating horribly and that is contributing to diabetes, then I need to shift that habit of stuffing sugars in, and then I'm having overweight and having other problems. So this is all about habit changes. And there's 2 ways to change habits. One is a big change, right? For example, Dean Ornish is proposing that, and we're having a lifestyle prescription boot camp coming up in July, where it's all about a very intense change. Because if you have some major issues and we want to really resolve them, then little tiny steps might not be enough. But in this case, or the second option, is having micro habit changes, a small little change. For example, for me, it is often going to bed earlier, right? Because that's one of my habits that is not good for me. So that these little micro habit changes usually are rather easy to integrate into clients' lives. The second one, it needs to be really empowering, meaning it needs to make me feel like, yeah, if I would have that, right? For example, if I would eat healthier, like, for example, I eat like a lot more vegetables or a lot of more healthy foods that give me more energy, and I would feel so good to, having that high energy. So it has to have an empowering connection to it, and it needs to be doable, right? If it's something that is just outside of our current scope of our thoughts, that we even think about, be able to do that, then we're probably not going to do it, right? Or we try it for 2-3 days and then we stop. So actually, we turn the video off to make the video on here. So what I'd like you to do is take this piece of paper right now, take a pen, I don't have one, here's one, and think for a second. What is it? What's a tiny little habit change that you know would really empower you, would be very, very good for you? Whatever the outcome is, whatever the benefit is, right? And something that you know you can do and you commit doing. So everybody, take that 1 minute and think, what is it that feel in your body, right? What is it that you can do that really moves you forward? Maybe just physically, you could pick something very small. For example, the rest of the conference, no coffee, no stimulant. Instead, you substitute it with something else. Or maybe you have a lot of, emotions with someone or issues with someone. You say, well, I want to resolve this inside of me, or I talk to that person. So it could be any area, if it's physical body, if it's mind, or if it's social, right? So think about that, and I talk a little bit, and you can write something down. And what I'd like you to do, write it down on that piece of paper. And like, I don't have, you don't have the prescription pads, but it must work. Write that down and take it with you, and over the next 7 days, you take that with you and follow that habit change to integrate it into your life. Now, we know a lot of habits that we have, they are triggered by traumas or stress triggers, as we call them, right? And there's obviously ways to work therapeutically, that we release these negative emotions that are attached to it. We release these stress triggers. And so the habit is not necessarily automatically repeating again and again, which obviously happens a lot with chronic health issues. The second aspect is that we can actually change our habits ourselves. And that is something that I think we need to really focus on more, because the reality is, look at India, 1 billion plus people. They can't afford, they can't go to a therapist all the time. It's just not realistic. Now, if we can, right, you guys are great therapists and doctors, you work with groups, like, a certain amount of groups, that is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But the reality is, if you look at the big scope, we need to change habits in individuals and countries and societies. And it's happening already, like in the US and other countries, where even the medical community is very aware. I mean, like, lifestyle prescriptions are based on evidence-based, right? There are research. All this that we integrate, also a big part of what we do in mental health, is by now scientifically validated. So that's not the question anymore. The question is, how will people apply it? And so that is something where I feel like with lifestyle prescriptions, we have a tool now that is kind of a Porsche instead of a little old car. It kind of allows us health professionals to bring this new kind of thinking into communities, into families, into groups of people and individuals, and help them in this habit change pattern. And obviously, specifically with lifestyle prescriptions, where there's we train, and there's specifically guidelines there that we're going to teach. So, but for right now, so I hope you're done with that, your own prescription that you're writing yourself, your lifestyle or green prescription. And just feel that in yourself, right? Where you say, well, this is something I'm going to do, follow through, and then give feedback. And I give you a website where you can give us a little feedback, how you're doing, and if you need some help, I give you a website, a Facebook link actually in a minute. Okay, so quick feedback, Crazy. Did everybody write that? I don't see you guys, so yes? Very good. Very good. Okay, so here's the website anyway. Go to the Facebook groups, the Lifestyle Prescriptions, and you can give your feedback, and that's an open group where everybody can join and share. So what is obviously, and all of you that are now here at the conference, this is something that is probably very ingrained already in your thinking, in your perceptions, that we have this connection between our body-mind social, the body-mind social connection, body-mind-social brain connection, and that is a big part that where we have to educate our clients, right, and our people around us, because this is still very new to many. That actually there's a very specific connection between social situations that we experience, stressors with people, with life situations, traumas, things that we perceive in our environment, right? It's about perception, that we perceive it a certain way in our environment. That, again, triggers certain emotions and thought patterns, beliefs, automated beliefs, things that come back on a continuous basis. And that, again, affects very specific organs or organ tissue. And there's a very specific connection in the brain, right? That it's really simple. And I think, I've talked over the last year, especially, I talked to a lot of medical doctors, and like the British Society of Lifestyle Medicine and in the US, and it's really interesting that they're so ready for change. They're so ready for change. They just need a way to do it. Right? And I hope in India this is the same way. There is, I think, a lot of openness starts to develop where even the medical community is start to opening up and saying, yeah, I think we need another way. What I found is really important, though, is how we communicate this. Right? It's very important how we communicate. If we communicate it in a way that is not professional, that is a bit out there, that is not evidence-based, and we use a language that is so easily be taken apart, then obviously that's not such a good thing. So one thing I'd like all of you to encourage is when you talk, and this is something we need all to do. We are the innovators that basically inspire others, and the more we inspire others, the more this mass consciousness will change. And so going out there, but not in a way, or going out there and talking to general public or to healthcare professionals in a way that allows them to really see the potential of this. And so this organ-mind-brain connection, social connection, is something when, I've never seen one doctor that would say, hey, that doesn't exist. I mean, that's absolutely science. And so if somebody doesn't exist that, then probably the earth is still flat, which is also okay. So what we found is that, let me see, let's go over here, it's the next one. One second here. So what we do is, especially with lifestyle prescriptions, we want to simplify things, because, we found that if it's easy, then it can be applied. Now, easy doesn't mean, how do I explain it? Easy doesn't mean it has no value. Easy means that it can be applied in a way that is very doable. Right? So like we said before, it's about these micro habit changes, and it has to be doable and empowering for not just a health professional, but also for a client. So let me give you an example, right? Like one doctor in US that using lifestyle prescriptions, and he also learned mental health before, but now with lifestyle prescription, what he's saying is this, I have a very busy practice, very busy. I have 10, 15 minutes per clients. Now, and I have to look into reimbursement, right? Which is, every country obviously is different, but in this case, he gets reimbursed for his initial consultation. So what he's doing is, let me change that here so you see the back. So the way he's doing, for example, a client comes in that has eczema, right? Has eczema on the right side, and for example, the right cheek. That we know right away. Well, and what he's doing is to make it really simple and very, very approachable, right? He looks at these wonderful charts that we have with lifestyle prescriptions, where you see the organs, right? And you see right away all the information that you need. And he tells the client, so here it says that this has to do with some loss. Did you experience some loss in your life? And so he connects basically the symptom right away with the conflict theme, with the theme that affects a specific organ tissue. Because, as you know probably by now, every organ tissue is connected with a very specific conflict theme. It's like, it's biology. Biology, it's really powerful. Biology meaning, what's the function of that body? That's another sentence that you could always kind of in the back of your heads, right? When a client comes with a health issue, intestinal tract or eyes or whatever part, organ tissue it is, ask yourself, what's that biological function of that organ? Why do we have this? Why do we have an outer skin? Why do we have a skin that is below, the dermis skin, right? Why do we have a skeletal system? Why do we have muscles? It's not just physically, but from a functional level, a biological level, they have a very specific meaning, like this outer skin layer is touching, connecting with people on a social level. If we experience a trauma in that situation with that connection, context, the skin would react. It's not that our intestinal tract would react. That's connected to the very different conflict theme or life perception. And so we're calling that the lifestyle prescription protocol number 1, which is so easy to integrate. So you know the symptom, you look up the charts, you feed back the conflict theme, and what happens is you make connections. The client starts to connect that even this life situation that they have, for example, they just had a divorce. For example, they just lost somebody, and somebody that was very close to their right cheek and the skin, right? It was taken away from them. That's their perception. And because of that intense emotion and the thoughts they have, that part of the organ would react with symptoms. And so clients start to become aware of that connection. And it's really amazing. Sometimes they're like, oh my God, how do you know, right? How do you know this? Because the body is giving feedback. The body is telling us exactly what is going on in our life. Our body is an amazing feedback machine. It's also an amazing self-healing machine. I'm saying machine, which is not really true, but I think it makes the point. And our body is a direct reflection of our consciousness, which means it's very truthful and very honest. And which sometimes is a tough one to swallow for us, right? Because we want to go into different, dimensions and all that. But the reality is our body gives us feedback. And listening to that feedback and then acting upon it, making changes in our lives is very profound. So to me, the body and spirituality is the same thing. Body, mind, spirit connection, body, mind, social connection. It's all one. It's all interconnected with each other. And so just that one protocol, right? We have many different ones that we use now, that we simplified the whole process in terms of learning it as a health professional, but especially integrating it for clients. Because I don't know if you guys have experienced that too. You might have a client that comes to you and has a health issue, and you start talking about emotions and all that, and they just totally space out or leave the door, right? They're running out. Like also Dr. Bada. Dr. Bada has a lot of funny stories. Like he was saying, when a client came in and he was talking to him about, some the background, the conflict themes, the emotions that might cause this health issue. And okay, next time they came in and they said, this time it's only physical. This time it's nothing, nothing emotional. And we all have these clients, right? And so the key is that we are flexible in how we work with clients. There's so many ways we can help them where they are at this moment. For some, it might be as easy as exercising more, as starting nutrition. This is very basic. Though, this basic science, look at the lifestyle medicine research, right? And that's green prescriptions, that we talked about before, right? Just changing diet, exercising more, doing some form of stress management like yoga, meditation, right? And having somehow a social connection where we talk about our health issues can reverse most of the health issues. And that doesn't even include our specificity about the root cause analysis, like with mental health also, where we can pinpoint very specifically what's the root cause. And we might just turn that knob a little bit, that emotion that needs to be released, and things start to totally shift and change. So my point here is that we have a tremendous amount of opportunities to help clients, and with lifestyle prescription, it's kind of like it's a vehicle that we use, and you fill it with the tools that we have, or in like our case at Mental Health University, obviously we teach all these tools that you need to be really essentially excellent in the root cause diagnosis and the health coaching and the therapy aspects. Okay, Gracie, can you tell me how much time I have left? Because I have no idea how long we have scheduled. 13? Oh, okay, good. I thought I still only have an hour. Perfect. Okay, so, and as I said, in a few minutes, there's questions also that I can take if you like. So if you guys have questions, write them down, and then okay, let me just put back my PowerPoint here. In a few minutes, yeah, I want to still share a few things. Okay, so, and here we go. Many of you, are mental health trained, so the background information. The only thing what we did with these charts is to make it very easy to visualize. Because, for example, if, somebody comes to you that has tinnitus, we want to, when the client is in front of us, right? We want to be able to very quickly reference and make it easy for us and the client. And so you see here on the right, it's all the organs that are connected with that organ, or the organ tissue, that are part of the ear, are all in one place. It's very easy to see the conflict theme, the stress and repair phase symptoms. And I'm not going to go into that because I'm sure all of you guys know by now that every organ tissue very specific sets of symptoms during the stress phase and regeneration phase, right? And that's just brilliant, that tells us so much about where the client is in the timeline of that self-healing process. Are they still in the stress phase, or are they already in the regeneration phase? So simplifying our work with clients, I think, is really important, because the easier it is for health professionals, doctors, nurses, to integrate this knowledge, the more it will spread, the more it will be used, and the more the mass consciousness will change. I've seen this, I've done many things in my life, before that, where like 20, 30 years ago, where this whole energetic medicine, people just scratched their heads and said, energy medicine? What do you mean? Like auras, energy, chakras, right? India is different because it's part of the culture, but in the West, it was so far out. And now everybody knows about that. It's not a question anymore. And the same thing's going to happen with the body-mind social connection and lifestyle medicine. The big thing, though, is not knowledge. Knowledge and information is a commodity, right? And it's going to accelerate. Commodity means, it's available freely pretty much. everything that we want to know about, pretty much we can find out just by Googling it or going online. What's going to be way more important in the near future is that people need help to manifest, help to change, help to create a difference physically, emotionally, or in their life, right? In their success, in relationships, and so on. So that is really where I see our biggest tasks ahead. And that's why we're focusing now so much on the health coaching, but not the generic type of health coaching, but root cause based. You know, where the more you know the root cause, the more specific you can work and coach a client or patient to where they want to go. And it's interesting, again, in the UK, you know, we have March 11th, we have at the Regent's University in London an event there with wonderful speakers. And by the way, you can stream that live also if you go to Meta Health, actually lifestyleprescriptions.org. That's the .org website. And you know, when I talk to these doctors that are in the NHS, you know, it's very difficult. It's really broken because they know they can't afford it anymore, the way healthcare goes. But they have really trouble seeing the way out because it's still basically caught mostly in the physical fixing disease paradigm. And so again, like I said before, you know, part of what I hope you guys do, go out there and really educate and inspire others, especially health professionals, to go the next step towards lifestyle medicine. Now, one thing also that I found is really important is to have actually protocols that you know, have been effective. Why reinventing the wheel? I mean, so often it seems like, you know, we learn something and then we kind of have to learn the same thing again that hundreds of other people learned already. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, right? So it's all about being more effective and automate a lot of the processes that we use. And so, you know, with lifestyle prescriptions, you know, we use very specific protocols that are based on this, you know, organ-mind-brain connection that we know work for, let's say, diabetes, right? I mean, you know, diabetes using a nutritional approach, you know, that is more ketonic diet based, using, you know, obviously working on the resistance and disgust, conflict themes and emotions that are connected, and a couple of other protocol steps that really help the clients in reversing diabetes, for example. So having these protocols is really something that I think is incredibly helpful. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, okay, so I guess let me just talk about this quickly. So if you have questions, just go metahealthuniversity.com. And one thing I really want to inspire you to join, you know, we have the Lifestyle Medicine Summit is June 1st and 7th. And, you know, we have an amazing speaker like David Katz, which is, you know, the leader in lifestyle medicine, Mimigonary, and a lot of others that you know, join, and many more to come. Bernie Siegel and others. So you know, go to lifestyleprescriptions.org /summit and sign up and really spread the word. I think, you know, this is specifically for India. I mean, this is huge because it's online, it's free, and, you know, we want to really inspire people to look at, well, how can I change my life to a much, you know, in a much more profound way. And so at the summit, it's all root cause based solutions. It's no sales pitches, right? No blah blah. It's very focused. It's 100% free, you know, and 100% content. So it's going to be really, really amazing, and I hope to see you there. And yeah, and I think that's it from my end. Let me turn off the. There we go. So yes, I really appreciate it. I know I didn't have much time to go into more details, but I hope you got the point. Or you see the vision, right, where we can really make a huge difference if we start to bring green or lifestyle prescriptions into healthcare practices. And I know New Zealand has been doing this for many years already. In Germany, also other countries, it starts to pop up. But, you know, with the skills that we have and with the right tool, with the right vehicle, we can really make a huge, huge difference. Okay, a couple of questions I guess we have, right?
So, questions?
Can we have this chart for our purpose?
You have to repeat, Crazy, right? I don't hear.
Yeah, hi Johannes, Roop here. Hello.
You go to mentalhealthuniversity.com and you can just, there's all the information there.
Thank you.
It's part of the foundation training. That's where the charts, everybody gets the charts. So it's part of that LP Pro foundation training, so it's also explaining it, how to use it. And then from that point, you can actually use lifestyle prescriptions.
So how long is
and you get the charts
training?
too.
How long is the foundation
So
training?
mentalhealthuniversity.com is the easiest way to get that information. Oh, there's different options. I guess just email. I don't want to. This is more just informational here. So just go to the mentalhealthuniversity.com and send us an email. There's a sign-up form. You can send an email, and then we will reply. And there's 2-3 different options of how to train. Yeah, absolutely. And another question?
Any more questions? Just a minute.
In lifestyle prescriptions, what about being culturally sensitive? Like, would the therapist need to be culturally, like you could suggest something which would not be compatible with another culture?
Yeah, just a little bit. If you could repeat or summarize it, summarize it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and not just culturally or country, it's individual. They have to be very, very specific. And that's when they work. See, the problem is this, like, look at dieting, obesity, overweight. I just read the statistics. 1% of people that, actually, I'm sorry, it's 0.1% of people that start diets, they gain their weight back. Because it's a generic thing, it works sometimes, but not as much as we need it to work. So the more targeted we can be, the more root cause based we can be. That's the whole point of lifestyle prescriptions. If I know, let me give you a couple of examples to kind of finish up. If I know that a client comes to you with stomach mucosa, right, a stomach ulceration. If you say, well, eat better, do this and that, right, exercise more, do a little stress management. That's good. It probably improves it somewhat. But if you know that the anger that person has about a business partner triggers the stomach mucosa again and again, if I take that away, if I help him to become aware of it, know what the connection is, we help coach the client to shift, either therapeutically or through coaching, then this needle, right, the pin needle that always triggers the stomach mucosa is gone, and then the body automatically goes back into a self-healing mode. And then the better our nutrition is and exercise and all that, the faster it will heal. So that is the specific information. Now, the cultural aspect obviously has to be also addressed. But I want to say one thing too. The cultural sensitivities are also beliefs. So, like, for example, US right now and many other countries, there's so many beliefs, they're so strong in people, and they are just beliefs, right? Which means we can change these beliefs too. And that is another aspect that sometimes we have to work with clients. If I have a belief, I just can't heal. If I have a belief that, well, that boss is just absolutely wrong, and that's, it's my right to be angry, then we can't just work on the emotion, but we have to find ways to reframe that belief.
So, thank you very much, Johannes. That was fantastic. So please give Johannes a big applause.
Thank you guys. Have a
Thank
great
you,
time
thank you,
there.
thank you.
Enjoy, and see you around soon. Again, go to the Crazy gives you the summit is something that I really hope in India is going to spread, because I think it's going to make a huge difference in India. So if somebody wants to work with us on that, let me know. And thank you so much. Have a great time, and see you soon.
Just stay 1 minute, Johannes. 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
So, that we are here in India and having the 8th conference is because Johannes was persistent and never gave up when it was very difficult to move, touch, and inspire people to join IMA, to stay in IMA, and to be active in IMA. He was the president from 2012 till from 2004 till 2015. So for 12 years he was IMA's president. And that IMA, what IMA is now, is because of Johannes Fisslinger and Dr. Bader. Please also come here, Dr. Bader. Bitte komm her.
Crazy, give Anton a big hug, okay?
Yes,
Everybody
Anton.
actually in the room, that's okay. Anton likes it anyway, so everybody give him a big hug.
So you are all invited to join the Lifestyle Prescription Summit. Yes, and I really inspire you to do it. What Johannes' gift is, he can break down very complex concepts in simple, easy, understandable language, which is still in depth. And he wants things to be practical, to be workable. So thank you very much, Johannes.
Thank you, and have a good time and enjoy, huh?
Yeah, and see you back in Germany or in the UK.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
So yes, we got some website from where we can anytime find information we want, or we can post queries we have and keep learning continuously. Right? That was the question we have in the morning, and we found the answer now.